Good morning. So, I love learning new things. I always have, and this is something new for me. I have not gone live using my own device, and it's strange because it just disappeared. All right, so there it is again. I have intended to go live every morning before my workout, but today I had a meeting, an early morning meeting scheduled. And so I'm just going live right now. It's going to be quick. It'll be 3 to 5 minutes. And each time I go live to do my book talk will be just 3 to 5 minutes. So I wanted to share my screen, and that might be something that I learned to do later. But I was having some difficulty with that. So when you have difficulties, then you adapt and change. So today we're going to be continuing the discussion on Stephen Covey's habit number 1 from his famous book, 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. I believe that book was first published in 1989, but millions of people have read the book and are continuing to read it, and I am studying it and just immersing myself. What I've discovered so far is many of the things within the habit are things that I do or have done as a habit before, but maybe dropped it. So listening to these kinds of books or reading these kinds of books are always good to refresh our memory, get us back on track. So yesterday I talked about our ability to respond. We are response able, and I found this image that really clearly exemplifies that we have the stimulus, which is something that happens around us, and then we have the ability, because we are higher thinking mammals, to respond in whatever way we choose. So even not choosing to respond is a choice. So everything we make is our choice to the stimulus. And the last one is the response then that we make. I'm sorry, I just now see that we're getting a lot of glare off of my window. So like I said, I love learning, just learned that. Okay, so is that better? And I need to learn how to share my screen, so I'm not trying to share my iPad, I guess. So continuing with that discussion that we talked about yesterday, in the beginning of the book, there's a section called paradigms, and oh my goodness. So I have paradigms written in front of me. Principles. This is a principle-based strategy for just making better lives for ourselves and for those people around us. So he has got this section, paradigms and principles. And I found this nice, and I guess this is just not working. What can a paradigm shift mean for you? So what is a paradigm shift? A paradigm shift is a way of looking at something differently. It's just a big fancy word, right? It's a word that educators use. We're familiar with it, but many people in the general public do not use the word paradigm very often, but it's of how we look at things. It's our experiences, our personalities, all of that causes us to look at things in unique ways. And we can change how we look at things. For example, before the world was determined to be round, everybody thought it was flat. And then once it became accepted common knowledge that we live on a planet that is round, people started looking at it differently. Another good example, and again, my photos are not working very well, but I'm sure that people have seen things like this. So when I first looked at it, it looked like a beautiful young lady with a hat on. But if you look where it seems to be her neckline and think of that as a chin with a mouth, and then what you think is the young lady's chin is actually a nose, you can now see a different image, which is an old lady. So it's a paradigm shift. That's what paradigm shift is. And then, yes, I guess that was the last of my images. So I want to talk about that and then I'll let you go. But one of the things that I do when I'm successful, sometimes I'm not always successful in like using this paradigm shift, but for example, when you're in the store and maybe somebody is just being super grumpy or it seems that they're rude. In my mind, I tell myself, I don't know what that person is going through right now. Maybe they just received, maybe they just found out that their spouse is severely or terminally ill. Maybe somebody recently passed. Maybe they have an incredible backache. I don't know. I do not know what caused that person to act in the way they're acting, but if I give them the benefit of a doubt and shift my thinking, I can just let it go or even be kind to that person. Maybe give them a smile or say hello. So that's just one example of a paradigm shift. I would love to hear from anybody else. Your experience with habit number 1, being proactive, your experience with paradigm shift, your experience with Stephen Covey's books, any of that, I would love for some feedback. So I hope you enjoyed my quick talk. I hope I kept it under 5 minutes. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow.